How do we add and subtract complex numbers graphically? Well, remember how vectors work where we add the x components and add the y components? So when we add these two, we get x1 plus x2, comma y1 plus y2. Well, when we add these, we get a1 plus a2 as the real parts, and b1 plus b2i as the imaginary part. Well, this should show you the similarity between rectangular form and vectors. Now, it's important that I mention rectangular form. We're not talking about trigonometric form. This is really useful when we're dealing with rectangular form of complex numbers. The idea is we can represent the sum of these two things in the complex plane by using an initial point and translating by the vector of the other point. So let's say we have we have this as our first complex number, and we're trying to add it to that complex number. What we will do is we will represent the second complex number as a vector. So this is the vector that complex number represents. And if I take that and apply it with an initial point of our first complex number, then this will be our sum. So this is a1 plus a2 plus b1 plus b2i. So essentially what we did is we found the first point in the complex plane, translated according to the vector, and then our final point was the sum of the two. So if we want to graphically express this, well, 8 plus 2i is going to be our initial point, 8 plus 2i. Now we're going to use this, negative 4 plus 3i, as our vector, so we're going left 4 and up 3. Which makes the sum this. And I would like you, when you're writing these, to draw the initial point and the final point, and then label the final point as whatever it is, in this case 4 plus 5i. And if you did this out, you would see 8 minus 4 gives you 4, 2i plus 3i gives you 5i, so it works out, but this is what it means graphically. If we were to calculate this, well, we start from the initial point of negative 3 minus 5i. Now, vector subtraction is the same thing as adding the opposite vector, so this is plus negative 2 plus 10i, so distributing the negative. So we'll use minus 2 plus 10i. So here is, here is our vector. So I went left 2 and up 10 and got here. So our sum is at this point, which is what? Negative 5 comma positive 5. Or if we're writing this as a complex number, which we are, negative 5 plus 5i is the difference between these two complex numbers. In other words, graphing in a complex plane is closely related to vectors and addition. Thanks.